Yeah. And listen, I'm sorry for my fingers in your boots, but that's what we would do if we were at work.
Such an idiot. All right, ready?
I don't understand why you're
What is up, Watch Fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris Watch Shop.
I am Michael, Mr. Save the World.
And I'm TJ.
Due to the nature of TJ's career, he requested that we do not show his face, but that does mean I have to put this creepy black bar over it, so hopefully that's not too weird. You thought it couldn't get any worse?
The long story short, TJ is a really good friend of ours, and like so many of you guys out there, that when we actually get to meet, you're like, holy shit, like the channel's meant so much to me. Oh my god, I would love to watch a video. I'd love to be in a video briefly.
Crying fans.
You know, it's really cool.
We're so used to it by now.
No, it's cool. So anyway, TJ's here visiting his friends, us, and I said, okay, you could be in the video for a second. And we're actually going to put some of his reactions to the subjects in the video as well.
TJ will be, we typically have, the blue card, music, and it says what the next subject is. TJ's going to give us a quick first look reaction to the subject, and then we'll move on.
Exactly. So today we are talking about, first of all, House of Gucci. House of Gucci.
House of Gucci. I haven't seen the movie yet. Christian has, so that'd be a good combination. But recently, Hodinky did an article on all the misplaced watches of the time period. Like, there was none of the watches of the correct era. But there are some cool watches, and Adam Driver's watch is one that isn't the one I'm getting, but is in the same family.
Yes.
I think. Then the main topic of this video is Omega's 1894, which, again, inspired by our article on Hodinky. Again, this is about their most famous movement of all time and considered one of the best movements of all time, the 30T2.
Yes, I love that movement. The 30T2 was one of the first movements that I actually would seek out specifically, which is interesting.
A watchmaker's famous quote is, "It is one of the few movements that just seems to assemble itself."
Wow. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, and I'll tell you more about why we seek those watches out. And then the last topic is what?
Mikey's getting a new watch.
Mikey boy is getting a new watch.
Mikey boy's getting a new watch, which we'll talk about. I'm between two. I am hoping by the end of this video we will have decided. So that way you could buy it for me.
If I buy it, that means I get to engrave it, and I'm gonna
deal.
It's gonna be phallic.
Wait, done deal.
Just gonna put a big penis on the back.
I
got you. You do that on like your binder.
Yeah.
Like if you walked away, someone would draw a penis. You'd come back. You'd be like, "Oh, now I'm gay! No, no!"
But then it's a lifelong journey after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, this video is sponsored by SurfShark VPN. We'll talk about that a little bit in a second. But
talk about why VPNs and why SurfShark. I love SurfShark.
You love SurfShark. You're actually a really technology-forward guy.
I am. Listen, there are a few things that I know about technology, and it's a very, very short list, but security is one of them. So can't wait to talk about that later.
Not only security, it benefits your Netflix account, of certain accounts that you can't use. It's great. If you want to use our code, you go to surfshark.deals/Theo and Harris.
Sounds great. All right, let's get into the first subject.
Done.
The House of Gucci. Casa de Gucci.
House of Gucci.
Like Gucci watches?
No. They wore JLC watches.
Oh, yeah, the style that Gucci was wearing. Yeah. Oh, no, facts. It's great.
So, first of all, you didn't see the movie.
No.
Okay, so I'll give you a very, very brief synopsis of the movie. Basically follows Adam Driver, who is his character Maurizio Gucci, who again, I'm not sure of the historical accuracy of this part, but kind of earlier in his life, he was an attorney. He had really no interest in going into the Gucci family. He kind of poked fun at their wealth, and as if, who do you think that you are? Meaning his uncle and father and things like that. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, grandpa, meaning the founder of Gucci, Aldo Gucci, was a bellhop. He's a regular guy.
Yeah, right.
And you people think that you're kings and queens. So he kind of denounced the family. Still participated a little bit. Ultimately did denounce it a little bit. But anyway, hooks up with this woman. I forget her name. Doesn't matter. Lady Gaga. And she really craves the wealth and the importance and the
Gucci image.
The Gucci image, yeah. So she pushes him into the business. Long story short, she ends up kind of being a very carnivorous woman and kind of devours the family basically through Adam Driver. Long story short, most important, it all ends up up. She ends up having him killed. It's a disaster. Spoiler alert.
Wow.
But from a style point of view, it was very, very cool.
Yes.
Adam Driver was incredibly elegant. Really, I think he did a great job.
You seen Marriage Story? Is that what it's called?
I have.
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
god,
That was really
that is a
great.
great movie. Noah Baumbach is a great director and writer.
So anyway, from a style point of view, POV, it was really, really cool, and that's a lot of the things to do with watches, right? Watches
Yeah, of
play
course,
a part
of
in that,
course.
but anyone when you're buying watches, it's definitely to like kind of become someone, and like even he wore what was the watch he wore?
I have the exact model. I don't want you to see unless spoiler. Do you know what Pacino's wearing?
No, like a fake watch.
No, okay. This is great then. He is wearing a JLC Reverso, obviously classic moon face in gold.
Yes, so JLC Reverso in yellow gold. He also on the same hand wears a beautiful but big signet ring, and I think that we kind of like look at like really kind of signet rings in general as like two kinds of ways. Like one really like cheap Las Vegas, kind of like Al Pacino, De Niro, whatever.
Yep.
But then we also look at it like British aristocracy, and I
You're doing the wax, right?
Yeah, I love when I have a couple of signet rings. I don't wear them often, but I do wear them. I try to be that more classic kind of look.
Yep.
And I think it's really, really cool. I love that aristocracy look, that really small gold watch and a beautiful ring. I think it's a cool look. But that's what he wore. Do you like
That's
that
what he
watch?
was. Yes. Like I said, we'll get into the JLC Reverso I want later.
Yep.
But I love that watch, and just since it's so slim, seeing it on a leather band on his wrist, it's beautiful. Such a gorgeous watch.
Yeah.
And I read this a while ago. Now things changed. The watch world was different when I was reading this. Which, looking for new watches, I was baffled by the prices.
On Reversos?
No, not on Reversos, on Cartier specifically.
Oh yeah, they're very expensive.
Oh my, watches that I say this all the time, watches that I would sell for $200, or I would buy for $200, flip for $400.
Yeah.
Minimum, you can't even find a good quality one for $2,500.
Yeah, watches
not
are
even
very
good
expensive
quality.
now. Like,
Oh my god.
very expensive. It's for real.
Oh
you know?
yeah. But the old saying used to be, which is still relevant today, that JLC is the watchmaker's watch. Just because
Right.
when you open up the case, it's just perfect. It's beautiful.
Well, so you know what's funny? I think you're wrong, and so I thought the same thing, and it wasn't until a YouTube commenter actually commented, why that's wrong. I believe the origin of that saying, which again I thought it was because a watchmaker would approve of it.
Same.
It's actually because the greatest watch houses like Patek Philippe
Use
use JLCs.
Oh,
But it works either way. The
It's-
saying works either way.
It's more of like this is the watchmaker's dealer.
Right. Yeah.
I can
This is-
see that. I can see that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But it works either way. You're correct.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
used
of
that a
course.
million times. But
It's just cool to think like they're that achievement, and then I saw something that was just like, you trust the guy wearing the Reverso. If he's buying a rose gold day date from you, you don't think he's gonna scam you because that's
Right.
the guy wearing the Reverso.
right.
I really like that. Is it true to Adam Driver's character?
Adam Driver's character, I mean, again, the kind of like the essence of it is, he kind of like rejects his name and all that goes with it, but then ultimately, like all nature, right? We are what we are, and ultimately, he does end up pretty tough, and he ends up being a Gucci, and then he ends up getting. In the end, he gets not just killed, but they kind of oust him from the company. Not a single person, and this is interesting. This is an interesting subject that we can kind of transition to. I mean, just intermediary is like ownership and family ownership. Obviously, all these watch brands, basically started off, not all of them, but almost all of them independently. Yeah. And that was Gucci. Gucci in the forever, but into the early 90s, I believe, was independent. It was owned by the Gucci family. Yeah. And then I believe over the course of 2 events. The Gucci family was entirely removed, and now there's no affiliation to Gucci, the Gucci family with Gucci.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that's what we see with watch houses as well. And obviously they're owned by basically 3 conglomerates: LVMH, Richemont, and Swatch. That's basically it. All of our favorite watch brands are owned by those people. Obviously, Audemars Piguet is family independent. Rolex is family independent. But it's very interesting. Like I happen to. I mean, I don't know. I think I prefer family businesses over the corporations. I mean, I definitely do. Actually,
it's definitely. I prefer it, but it's also cooler. Like thinking the House of Gucci being the House of Gucci is way more cooler than something being owned by a giant conglomerate. Because you lose the face behind it.
You do. As far as working with companies, or rather being on the inside of companies, if you are. Obviously nepotism is probably more prevalent in family-owned businesses, right? Because
sure,
sons and
for
nephews
sure.
and cousins end up in positions they never would have earned.
Becomes a dynasty.
Dynasty.
Yep.
There's also a level of trust there, but there's a level of trust, but it's a great blindness as well, and that's frustrating. But then on the other side, with corporations, they're often so big, and no one really has like this divine signing power. Someone does.
We've seen it many times.
Yeah, but a lot of companies, there's so many middle managers, and there's no one that really owns any piece of the company. No one really gives a shit. So even when they really they can't really do that much, and that's the problem too. So it's weird. But Gucci has grown exponentially. They went from, I believe, when they got bought out, it was at a $300 million valuation, and now it's a $60 billion company.
Wow.
So it's 300 million like 1994 or something like that. Now it's 60 billion.
Wow.
And that's crazy.
That is crazy. The big thing. Don't look at that. Actually, you can look at that.
No, I'm not.
The Al Pacino's watch.
I don't think there was a close-up of it because I really didn't get it.
House of Gucci, look at the third bullet point.
Breguet Classique.
Yeah. Does it remind you of anything?
Of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Exactly.
funny. Wow,
Let's see,
interesting.
here.
That's funny. It's absolutely Breguet.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know how I missed that. I have no idea how I
hysterical?
missed that.
I was like, which one do you have?
Tradition.
Okay, you have
but
the tradition.
no, it's literally the sister watch.
Yeah. I thought
Actually,
this
mine's
hilarious.
more expensive.
Whoa.
No, but wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, right?
Pretty cool.
So that was the whole article that Hodinkee wrote was basically like, whose right is it to be a costume director, and none of these watches are period correct. I looked at that as I'm like, at the end of the day, who noticed?
Did Danny write this?
I don't
Probably,
know.
right? Watching movies? Yeah, it had to be
Probably.
Danny. Hi, Danny. Danny Milton, the author of the article, good friend, very
Yes.
good writer, and great series here with Watching Movies. Continue.
But who does that bother? Us? And is that it? Because I listened to a podcast about this avid bird watcher. Have I told you this?
No.
He said he can't.
Thank God.
No,
Thank God you have.
I don't know why you left that out until we were filming.
Christ.
He can't watch a movie, and all of his friends in this bird watching thing can't watch a movie because any scene they're outside, it's the wrong birds. So
That's
all he thinks about. He's like,
funny.
why would those birds be there if they're only native to England and you're in Massachusetts?
That's funny.
He's like, any movie he can't watch. And that, this is basically the same vibe where I'm like, nobody's ever going to notice. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't even notice that he was wearing a Breguet.
No, I didn't.
But to some people, it's just like, well, why wouldn't you just put the extra 2 seconds in to make sure you get one from the right era? Because all these are basically a generation in the future.
Well, as far as this movie is concerned, I don't have a good answer. It is more difficult to procure period watches. It is.
Oh, yeah. Especially
Breguet. 90s Breguet you could probably get, but...
And is ROI
going,
worth it at all?
And that's the question. Does it really matter? I agree that yes, to make a perfect thing, it should be hit correct and whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine a single movie that won't bother someone because of its inaccuracy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I'm sure. Something is wrong with every. I'm sure there were 50 things that weren't period correct in the movie.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah. I just thought it was funny pointing that out because I was like, oh, okay. Like most everything too is traditional enough where it's been same form. Maybe it's not like a coin edge bezel,
Right.
But it was smooth for 30 years.
Wow, that's interesting.
But yeah, I just thought it was super interesting.
Yeah, it is cool. See how effortless his pinky ring looks, his signet ring? It's really big though.
Yeah, it is.
But it is a cool, and I think all the members of the family had it and the thing. I don't know if that's historically accurate, but he just looked very elegant throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, and that's why I feel like a Reverso is so nice. He's in a white shirt here, and it still looks great.
I really think that like the most formal watches actually look the coolest when you're dressing casually. Like I wear dress watches with white t-shirts, like completely.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool look. You know, with like sneakers and shit. It's just a cool look.
Just killer.
Are you at all like a Gucci fan? Like, do you even care about Gucci?
The horsebit suitcase. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
That is the one piece from Gucci where it's just magic. That is probably the most beautiful suitcase I've ever seen in my life. Or maybe briefcase, I forget.
Is it vintage or no?
No, it's new. Gucci horsebit 1955 suitcase.
Yeah, that's a cool bag.
That thing's insane.
That's
and
a cool
that
bag.
is a like a sleeve, so you could pull it out and bring the laptop
Oh
with you.
wow, that's actually really good. That's actually really cool design. That's intuitive
it's
too.
super
I love
cool.
that. I love portfolios.
That bag is unreal.
Yeah, that's a cool bag. I love the horsebit loafers. It's like, I think that if I had to like break down my shoe collection to like 4 pairs of shoes, I would do 1 pair of horsebit, 1 pair of Alden, loafers, but maybe in suede or cordovan, and then like a pair of Vans. Like that's
Yeah,
the,
right.
Like, that's it.
That's
Like,
typically what I see you in anyway.
Yeah, I end up wearing Vans. I have a tremendous shoe collection at home. I end up wearing Vans 90% of the time, which is hysterical.
Yeah, right.
But it's probably applicable to watches too, right? Like how many guys out there watching this have legitimately tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in watches, and they really give their attention to 10% of them.
Yeah, you're always gonna wear the other watches tomorrow. Tomorrow will be great.
I'm attracted to those designs, like the 1953 loafer specifically, because it really is like, I mean, I guess it's a reissue at this point. Like it's no better, like logically than the 15202, 57.
Yeah, right.
It's almost identical to the way it was in 53. You know what I mean? Like
they kept it. Well, they had the. Well, do you know this? Is it just literally because it looks like what a horse bites?
Yeah, it's literally a horse bit. Yeah.
They just kept it and it worked.
It just
no
worked.
need to change it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was kind of cool. Like again, like real quick, like if you go back to like Aldo Gucci, like the grandfather, he again bellhop, and he not a rich guy.
Yep.
And just really really admired all like the leather bags that like the rich
people
people
bringing
at the
in.
Savoy Hotel, I believe, the rich people were bringing in.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, But anyway, the interesting part, I think, is the true reissue, the Gucci horse bit, which is the equivalent of the Royal Oak Jumbo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it's the same thing that made them famous, and now it's still being sold today. Unlike the Royal Oak Jumbo, which is basically the bedrock of AP, 53 loafer, probably a very small portion of Gucci's business.
Yeah, it's true.
They only, I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but if you look at their catalog, it represents a small fraction of their men's shoes. Their men's shoes, I bet you their profitability is coming from sneakers, it's coming from other different, more modern loafers.
Quick branded things, I feel like it just goes off the shelves fast.
Exactly.
Right.
So that classic loafer that's not really ostentatious, it's just fucking classic, I don't think it really moves the needle for them. Again, we're talking about a big company. I'm sure that if I would love their money, naturally, but I bet you it's just small. Whereas AP and all these other brands, look at Patek,
Cornerstone of the market,
right.
of their company, yeah.
Exactly. And there's something so powerful about that, owning something that was just as relevant in the 50s or the 60s as it is today. I know that a lot of you guys watching own watches like that. We still appreciate the stuff that was from then.
Yeah.
Clearly, whether it's a reissue like a Jumbo or a watch we'll talk about later, or a Hamilton Khaki, or it's a Datejust, or it's whatever. There's so many options. If you appreciate watches like that, first of all, like this video, because we breathe and we live on likes.
Yes.
YouTube does that, but I know I do. That's my style. Is watches, whether new or old, but watches that would have been just as handsome.
Yep.
In the 50s or the whatever. Anyway, that was just an interesting note that relates kind of like the evolution of these designs.
Fascinating.
Go take the lead, my man.
Next up, Omega's greatest movement of all time, as you can't really say that when there's the Speedmaster.
That sounds like you're trying to write a YouTube title.
Oh yeah, Omega's greatest movement of all time.
Question mark?
Discontinued.
The first time I came into a bit of money, I could spend it on whatever watch brand, but I spent it on Omega. Their whole history, the way that they care about their clients, the way that they treat you, the way that they make you feel a part of their family, all their different iterations and everything makes you feel a part of the brand. I absolutely love Omega, and you'll see why soon.
The Speedmaster, obviously, the 3-2-1 movement is probably considered their greatest movement of all time. But their most reliable movement of all time goes to the 30mm series, 30mm series, which was 1939 to, I think, 1959. Their last series of it was the Omega 269, which was the 10th iteration. Oh, so maybe 1949. I don't know the year it ended.
No, I think it went into the 50s because I believe that the ones I wore were into the 50s. So
Okay. So,
I believe.
Oh, yeah, because they don't discontinue after a year.
Right.
That's not an iPhone. But their 30mm movements were considered, and are considered, some of the best, most reliable, and accurate, because most of them are chronometers, movements of all time.
Think about what you just said there. Like, the fact that we could, again, this is kind of, it's obvious, but like, you can go back and buy and collect and rely on the old versions of this technology.
Yeah.
Tell me someone that goes back and buys an iPhone from 9 years ago, nonetheless 70 years ago.
My iPhone is an iPhone 11, and people are starting to make fun of me for it.
Isn't
We're
that
only
hysterical?
2 years.
I was actually going to make fun of you from this morning because you don't have the 3 cameras.
yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
It's true. Like, anyway, I'm not a technology guy. Me, not a technology guy. My grandfather tried the other day. He was trying to do the remote for the TV. Like, it was all up. He couldn't figure it out. And he looked at me. He goes, "You gotta help me." I said, "Pop, I love you. You know that." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You know me. I'm not a technology guy.
I'm not that guy, yeah.
He goes, I know. I said, I think it's I'm using his words on him. I think it's the ruination of the world. He goes, that's what I say. I said, so I can't fix the TV. Let's pour espresso, have a glass of wine, we'll fall asleep. And he goes, all right, it's better.
Did you fall asleep?
He did, but but I wasn't fixing the TV. I don't know how to do it. I mean, Not,
in reality, the TV wasn't even plugged in. The cord's just in the middle of the floor. You're like,
I'm not a technology guy.
So there's really not much to say about this movement. I just think it's really cool to have that type of legacy. I also do think it's fascinating. The 70s, I think, is considered like Omega's worst movement making period of all time.
I don't know.
I don't quote me on that, but there was an era where I just read a lot about it when I was flipping watches, where people were like, those, for some reason, those movements, from
not
like
the best movements.
This period to this period,
interesting,
just didn't do much. But the 269 is their last movement of the series.
Yeah.
And Omega did a reissue. This is basically what the article was about. In 1994, or not even a reissue, but they used one of their most solid movements of all time, and just a classic watch design.
Yeah.
And brought back, basically for their 100th year anniversary, like the best of, like the greatest hits.
Right.
Which I thought was really cool, and
Very
was
cool.
a big subject of this video, is that Omega is one of the brands that will listen to their customers and not bend to their every will. Like we're not
Right.
gonna have like pink Seamasters or
Right.
whatever it may be, but being like, hey,
For Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Omega just
Pink ceramic.
completely just switches. But they do go out of their way to be like, this reissue is going to be the best of. Like,
Yes.
This is it. A lot of their movements are just incredibly solid, but it has been recognized that the 30T2 or 30 is just incredible.
Yeah.
So Omega reintroducing one of their best designs and one of their best movements shows direct, I feel like, consumer listening and being like, this is what you want.
Yeah, and Omega's able to do like reissues, or not just reissues, but like go dig into the past without it being their identity, because they release so much. So even though they're doing it, it doesn't represent, it's not their identity. It doesn't overwhelm everything.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the last subject here, which is really kind of your watch, your next watch.
Yes.
And we kind of want your guys' help as well in
100%.
picking, this watch.
Yep.
Spend Michael's money.
Yes. It's very important to me to hear how you want me to spend my money.
Yeah, exactly. A quick message from our sponsor, the sponsor of today's video, SurfShark VPN.
VPNs are pretty cool. No matter where you are in the world, you need that extra bit of protection. Surfshark's where it's at.
Do you know what a VPN is?
I'd like you to explain it.
I would love to. VPN is a virtual private network. So if you're in a public network, when you see your Mac, we usually say, this is a public network. People can do this, people can do that. The first thing that people generally think about with a VPN is privacy. But in reality, what it's doing is basically giving you a little shield where it makes your network appear private. Mm-hmm. So you're using that internet, but in a more protected way. Mm-hmm. Encryption is not always, it doesn't always come with a VPN. In this case, it does. But that's one thing. That's great. The biggest benefit that people will probably see day to day with a VPN is that you can essentially pick your location where your computer looks like it's from.
Yep.
So the common example everybody uses, if the Office isn't available on Peacock in, I don't know, in somewhere that's not the U.S.,
Yep.
you could say, I'm in the U.S. with this VPN. We're all good.
Exactly. I remember, actually, very good example, because when I was in Italy, I remember going and trying to get The Office, and when it was on Netflix, and it wasn't there, I was like, where's the fucking Office? Where's the fucking, I'm going to jump in. What I really just needed was Surfshark VPN.
Yes, you did.
So that's just one of the reasons why I personally signed up for a VPN. That, and every person that is young and technologically advanced having a brain, because everyone was like, why do you have a VPN?
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, I don't know.
I guess if you think I should get one, I get
Yeah,
one.
exactly. So go to surfshark.deals/Theo Harris and enter Theo and Harris as the code for 83% off plus 3 months free. I did it a couple of weeks ago, and it was like I literally bought like 2 years of VPN protection for basically no money with the discount. It was
easy.
It was a joke.
It's easy. It's a browser extension. It takes literally no work.
I think it took me a minute and a half. It took me a minute and a half to do it. So I think you really should go ahead and do it. Thank you to Surfshark VPN. I hope that we educated you a little bit.
Yes.
Little computer whiz Mikey over here telling you what to do with
Used
your
to work in
computer.
software, baby.
And he's using all that now.
Now look at it.
Thank you to Surfshark, and now let's get back into the discussion.
Michael's collection, and no matter where you think that he should buy his next watch, JLC, Batman's watch, I'm partial to that. And what Christian said is timeless, period, end. But that tag, I've never been partial to tag, but that tag specifically on that race strap does something to me. So say what you like in the comments. You know, we have a 50-50 split here. It's up to Michael in the end.
Okay, yeah. Give the preamble.
Okay,
because you know best.
Long story short, Michael loves watches. Michael's been buying watches for years.
I'm Michael.
This is Michael.
Yes.
Michael sent me 2 watches last night.
Late last night. Yeah.
And when I get a text from Michael at like 11 o'clock, I'm like, okay, something happened. I don't know what's going on.
Not
It's
this
just
time.
2 watches.
Just 2 friends.
Just 2 friends talking
Like,
about.
oh my god.
I'm like, oh my god, so the video's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I deleted the fucking YouTube channel. I am so sorry. Honestly, this one was on me.
On me, there's a delete button and a do not delete button.
I fucking clicked the delete button. I'm like, why were you even trying to click the do not delete button? You're like, I don't even know. I don't know why it's there.
Dude, I wasn't even awake. And then they said, are you sure? And I thought, yeah, I'm sure I don't want to do that. And I clicked, yeah. Gonzo.
So he texted me 2 watches, one being a JLC Reverso in silver, a classic watch, not a duo, right?
The Grand Taille?
The Grand.
Yeah, whatever.
The big one.
The big one, eh? Yeah, this one. So there's the classic that is, it's small, but I have a small wrist.
Yep.
But the Grand, is a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And I figured bigger is better.
Incredible watch.
Yes.
Or
the Heuer Carrera 1964 re-edition.
Yep.
36 millimeters, chronograph, incredible watch.
So to jump to the, and we'll talk about, you know, what the argument for each watch is, but
Sure.
to jump to the end of this argument, Michael won't buy either of these watches.
I will invest it in the market.
Because he's going to say, well, I'm going to spend $3,000, or am I going to make that money to go to work for me?
Compoundinvestment.com, I put in $3,000 over 10 years, 10% interest. I'm like, wow.
Wow, this watch is a lot more expensive than I thought.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, dude, I know what you make. Get both.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even think I'm going to get one.
What's funny, I messaged Christian the watches, and then I said, or is this just dumb? And he said, no, it's not dumb.
No, it's not dumb.
I was
It's
like,
watches.
he probably thinks it's dumb that I'm buying a watch. And
Yeah.
you're like, nah, no, that's
Not at all. Okay, so my opinion is,
Yes.
so far as chronographs go, I really don't think there are many cooler than the Heuer.
Yes.
Right? It's a reissue. It's incredibly well priced. They're great watches. I've worn them. I've owned them. Put that on a bracelet. It's amazing. Beads of Rice. Put that on a rally strap. It's amazing. Put it on a red strap. Put it on whatever you want.
Put it on a beat of Grace Wade's strap.
Put on a bead of Grace Wade's strap. You
Yeah.
put that watch on anything. It's a strap monster. It'll kill. It's a great watch. I love that watch. I've owned 5 of them, more of them, 10 of
I
them.
photographed them, yeah. Well, I photographed
Exactly.
2 of them, yeah.
They're great.
Yes.
But the Reverso, to me, has a charm and a level of interest that the Heuer doesn't. That's how I feel. I think that on a you know, like right there on that cognac kind of like just brown glossy alligator, that watch is elegant. Mm-hmm. I also think that with a white T-shirt, that's cool as shit. That reminds me, it's the Batman watch. Like, that reminds me of, you know, and you don't, right? But, like, you come from this extremely wealthy family, and this is the one relic that you take with you wherever you go. And it's this constant reminder of your lineage. You know, like, it's just elegance. You know, it's richness.
That's the thing, really, that what comes down to is whenever, at least for me, I think most people, you buy a watch and you picture what your life will be like with that watch.
Yes.
And what goes with it. So I'm going on a trip. I haven't told anyone yet. I'll make a big announcement with it, whatever, make a vlog or something. But I'm trying to pick the image for this trip, and then, of course, coming back from the trip, I want to have this watch. So I was thinking, does Michael wear a JLC Reverso? Or I hate talking about myself in third person because he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, right.
But does Michael wear a JLC Reverso?
Huge
Or Carrera? You're just a jerk. Or Carrera. And I see the Reverso is like the pinnacle of like the romantic watch, and then the Carrera is like the sporty, more adventurous watch.
And if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you're sporty and adventurous.
It's true.
No, I'm telling you. I mean, listen, they're both great. I really love them both. I recommend both to anyone. But I'm also biased. I fucking love the Reverso, and I don't own one, and it's nuts.
And the ones I'm looking at don't come on the Beads of Rice, but with the Beads of Rice bracelet.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Of
it's
course you've seen
amazing.
it, right? It's 10 times better even.
It's so cool.
That is insane.
Such a cool watch. I know.
But how am I going to time my pasta and my tea?
Right, exactly. What are you gonna do without a chronograph?
I
You know,
know.
what would you engrave on the back? Do you know?
On the back of this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, it would be really cool.
Your name?
No, if you when you came back, because it wouldn't be able to get done that soon. But
Yeah, of course.
if you put the either the stamp or like the whatever of the place you're going, like if you actually got an engraving of like the passport stamp or something.
Oh, that's a big idea.
That's a big idea.
You know what you have?
I have talent.
Yeah,
I
and
have
big
vision.
ideas.
Big ideas.
Yeah.
Big ideas, no execution.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Long story short, I was a child, and my dad my dad was buying a car, and he brought me with him because my dad loves to bring me with him to do things that I don't know why he took me. Like he doesn't go to the supermarket alone. He's super fucking weird.
Yeah.
You guys love Team Rolly. So he brings me to buy a car, and I'm just sitting there like while they're doing the finance.
Age? How old were you?
Oh, I was 11.
Okay.
I was a very young boy. And it was not a good time in life. I didn't really have any friends. Life sucked basically.
Yeah.
And I was with my dad. I felt kind of good because my dad was my friend.
Yeah.
And so he's buying this fucking car, and it's cool. It's kind of exciting. And my dad signs a piece of paper, or whatever. And the salespeople. I'm making fun of salespeople as if I'm not one, but God, they're scumbags. They love to make conversation, and he tells my dad, "Wow, that's a great signature you've got there. That's really nice." And now he's teaching you about signatures, and he's telling you what that signature means. And my dad's like, okay, my dad doesn't give a shit.
He's like, I already bought the car.
Yeah.
I already signed it.
Exactly.
Your dad's also a salesman. It's not like it's over your head.
If you're talking to my dad and he's just looking through you and up there, he doesn't give a shit.
I've seen your dad
does it all the time.
Looking at things behind me as I'm talking, but engaging more than people who are focused on me.
Yes, it's bizarre, So then he looks at me and he goes, hey, kid, or knew my name maybe, I don't know. And he goes, sign here. And he just gives me like a yellow legal pad. So I sign my signature. And he looks at an 11-year-old boy and says, wow, you know what that signature says about you? Right? Because I have a big C and like kind of an H and scribbles and then a big Z and scribbles. And he goes, big ideas. And I'm like, okay, that's a compliment, I suppose. It's not powerful, but he goes, no execution. I was like, what the fuck? I'm 11.
What am I going to execute?
So I have literally built my business to prove that man wrong.
So far, it's been working.
It's worked.
Thank
God he bullied me. You know what I really needed when I was an 11-year-old bullied teen? I needed the car salesman to bully me too.
After your dad bought the car.
Yeah, right. Scumbag.
I didn't want to tell you this on the live, but I've been hiring people to do stuff like that to you because I'm really scared you're gonna just one day be happy with yourself and this will all come crashing.
People are just bullying me. The woman at the fucking supermarket is like, by the way, you look fat.
You gained weight.
Oh my God.
People are being very specific. They're like, how is the business doing? What?
It's really good.
How do you know I have a business?
Yeah.
You just look like a failing business owner.
Yeah. It's just Michael paying people a sawbuck. $5, just to keep me motivated. Anyway.
So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Reverso. I'm going to try and make a move today.
Today?
I think so.
Well, that's exciting.
Well, because I have to go.
So when I buy something, that's not true. When I have a friend that buys something, I would say, great, you're buying a watch. It's terrific. Bottle of champagne on me.
Yeah.
But you don't drink. So how about we go to the store after this?
Yeah.
I buy a cucumber or something and we eat it.
Why'd you pick a cucumber?
It's a vegetable. I don't know, what the fuck can we celebrate with? Want some
with
apple
the watch.
juice?
How about you treat
You're
me
like, how about you? Whatever you would have spent on the champagne, just give me cash.
I was going to say, you get me the shipping. You get me expedited shipping.
Oh my
You're like,
God.
but that's not fun.
That's just
we're
money.
Not celebrating.
I'm not giving you more money.
I'm like, well, that's more fun for me. I'll get it sooner. I don't have to wait.
I give you too much money. You're buying watches. You're clearly.
Yeah, I send you the watches. You're like,
what the?
You shouldn't
have a calculator out.
Shouldn't be at
that's
that,
over sustenance.
You shouldn't be at that level. That's over sustenance. Have you not eaten for 6 months?
Yeah. Anyway, so good stuff. I think that's either way you go, you can't lose. Great watches. I think Reverso, and I'm very excited to see you get another watch. Now, are you intending that this will be a forever watch?
Yes.
Yes. See, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Buy one, buy the other.
95%. Because I've come to a place in collecting now where I have a few watches, but I want a watch that'll be my watch, and I feel like for the first time, I will get one of these, and even if I don't wear it every single day, it's still my watch.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you for sitting down.
Dude, anytime.
It's a fantastic conversation.
Any day of the week.
If you liked this video, go ahead and like it. And if you love watches, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you all very soon.